Hello and welcome to Star Stop. Two very fine gentlemen in the studio with us today. And I'll tell you something, although I met them over the years, every time I see Prakash Jha, I remember one video that was online. Mr. Bachchan was asking lots of questions. And to a lot of those questions, Prakash used to just nod. And Mr. Bachchan used to go back on his way. I've never seen anybody just nod and get work done by Mr. Bachchan. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why whenever we see his films also, we're sitting in his office right now. You just see so many years and years of great cinema in front of us. Real privilege once again, sir, to see you in the studio with us.
Pleasure.
And it's true. With just a nod, you can get work done.
He's a very naughty guy.
But I wouldn't be able to nod.
Very naughty guy.
And this
Naughty
is
to ye
hai naughty.
One of the funnest individuals I've ever seen, who has this amazing love for various atrangi gadgets, whether it's his car, whether it's certain things that he has. I still remember how you once told me about your Voyager car or what all you've done inside it.
Yeah, I just keep doing all these things.
I love it. Arshad, thanks so much.
Pleasure, buddy. Pleasure.
This is a fun film. It looks like a really fun shoot for you, my dear friend.
It is good. It is
jumping
very,
up
very
and down
good.
a lot. People keep saying that, sometimes it's a tough line to make sure that it looks not sleazy and looks fun on screen.
Oh, I am totally against these sex comedies, and I'm far, far from it. So for me, it is particularly, I have to make sure that it has to be clean.
But tell me something, this current generation, the millennials as they call them, for them, fun / sex / humor, it doesn't always have to be in the same order.
Yeah.
That sort of works okay. It's okay.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. The problem is, when you the line that is there, when you cross it and it becomes sleazy, then it becomes a problem.
But वो तो लोगों के नजरिए के ऊपर होता है.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. ऐसा
नहीं, आपको
पता चलता है.
Sleaziness जो है वो अलग चीज है. The leering
when it's done with the purpose of just exciting you. There's no real reason for it to be there. It's just done.
नहीं, उसमें गंदगी
There's a way. Actually, it's a mentality, I guess. Somewhere down the line. कहीं तो है.
And there is filth there. I mean, the taking sex, taking comic view of it, what is he doing in the film? What is he doing? I mean, he's offering love, care, sex to a woman, and becoming like what she dreams of. He is actually turning himself into a character she loves.
I'm playing a very noble character.
If you've seen the trailer of Fraud Saiyaan, you'll understand.
How noble I am.
There are little more than a dozen women who he cons.
Yeah.
और ये इनका modus operandi है जैसे वो करते हैं. I'm going to come to that film in a bit. I do believe that there is an issue of that I think that it's almost like the many roles that a number of Bollywood actors and directors and people in the industry have had to play. But the amount of moral policing that happens now, it's almost like people have forgotten the same songs they danced to in 95, the same stories they enjoyed in 98, and there, the moral policing, they didn't know how to spell it probably, or they didn't understand what it was. Somehow everyone seems to have a problem with everything that is being shown if it is beyond just a handshake anymore. Yeah. What has suddenly happened, or how has suddenly everything become such an agenda in Bollywood and against Bollywood?
I have a complete answer to that, but I will not give it because I am so right and I cannot tell the truth.
but doesn't it frustrate you as an actor?
That's why I think we have, fortunately, you have a web section that has come out where people can let their steam out, which is what's happening. So most filmmakers, writers and directors, especially writers and directors, have got that another platform to vent it out. And they are doing that. They're really going out and writing what they imagine, and it is being picturized. And so yes, there is, it's wonderful. I'm also doing one of that.
I'll come to that, but Prakash, how is India suddenly woken up?
See, there are two things.
Yeah.
One is you have to realize that on screen in the stories there has been a whole lot of objectification of women, and it has gone on since ever. People have accepted it as the part of the grammar of cinema, Indian cinema, commercial cinema. What I think is you have to think about is that when you being in a position of power where you can use, exploit and objectify somebody who is weaker, somebody who needs your favor, somebody who depends on you, in reality. And you continue with this exploitation purely because you are powerful, purely because you have the means to hand out. Then I think it is really dirty. Then I think it is abominable, obnoxious. That should never have happened, but that has continued for a long time. Fortunately, people are realizing it. Fortunately, women are talking about it. And fortunately, the society is taking an account of it. I think that should have always been there. There should be a clean atmosphere for working. We have several things to talk about in terms of like why objectify women, why kind of like, show them in skimpy clothes on screen.
There was a discussion about Chamma Chamma in your film, where there was a very scathing article as to on the objectification of, say, Ali Avram in the song. They said this. So there sometimes do you feel, it'll be difficult to, they said that this is maybe what the public wanted.
It's cabaret.
It's cabaret. It's absolute
you can't wear a Bharatanatyam outfit and do cabaret.
Yeah. Or say the objection was
that
the camera.
That is screen. That is screen that has been that is being dished out to everybody. We see it in every single film. That is an accepted norm of the Indian commercial cinema. Item number is accepted.
The problem is real.
You see it, you don't see it, and maybe for that very reason the film has got a UA certificate. It doesn't have a universal certificate.
There is this. In spite of me being with 13 wives, okay, we have steered away far from sleaziness and unwanted sex scenes or any of those kind of cheap thrills. There's one scene in the film where it was a part of the script because he gets caught red-handed. Now, to be caught red-handed, he has to be in the action to be caught red-handed. We have somehow worked and manipulated that scene into such a way that in spite of everything, you still won't object it because we made humor out of it.
That also has to do with you.
Exactly.
I think when you come on screen,
I personally don't. No, I also work at it.
Also,
I work at it. That let's not do this. It's not required. It's absolutely not. Like even the web I'm doing, I said when it's not needed to abuse, I do not abuse. I said there is not need. I don't speak like that in my real life. So why am I doing that? So there are various things. The problem I feel what you're saying is that many a time we take advantage of the situation and go beyond. Many a time we do it just to get attention. I think that should not happen. You just be honest with your story, honest with your job, and everything falls into place.
You get called out a lot these days also, and I think that's another big change. When I see somebody like a Prakash Jha, I see a producer, a filmmaker, all in control of everything. I think today everyone's got an opinion. Is it tough to be a filmmaker now? They can slash or take your film up on Mount Everest within a few hours now. It's no longer about whether they can see the film before your screening is over.
That's fair. I always consider that as something you are making, producing, and you're putting it in public domain. Now, in public domain, everybody will have an opinion. Somebody will take it to the Everest mountain. Somebody will throw it into a ditch. It's you be prepared for it.
So
otherwise, don't make movies. Stay in home.
Do you have a litmus test? Do you watch? So I ask a lot of filmmakers, who do you watch the screenings with? Is it friends and family, or do you start like understanding and trusting a little? Because you've got this formula that's worked very well with you. Very strong films that worked. That you were part of and that you made. What is your formula of moving out the fake praise from the real one?
There is no formula. I only go for stories, and I don't have checks as far as narration.
But no yes men around you also.
Narration is no. I'm not so big to have yes men all around.
His daughter doesn't agree with him.
वो भी नहीं सुनती. So the Alankrita Srivastava who made lipstick under my burqa.
I loved it.
And lipstick under my burqa had several sex scenes and had very explicit.
It doesn't bother you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
But also because you're Ratna Pathak Shah there, and suddenly you're thinking credibility hacked risky, and that's why it works.
Plus credibility ke saath saath, you are honest with it.
Yes.
You're not being sleazy. That's something which is women negotiating, their sexuality, which is, an important part of that film. Here, a con man negotiating his livelihood by kind of like, conning women, So it's just that. It's the beauty of this script, Fraud Saiyaan. Why somebody like me liked it. Absolutely native story, heartland story. Jugadu kind of like, negotiations, because he is sort of like, believes in it, and he sort of like, it's so earthy. I like, after reading the script, I said, my God, like, how can someone really think like this? How can someone talk like this and talk these, issues, this matter? And I really thought it was a nice film. It was a good comedy, and it was a new kind of narrative.
And what I find very interesting is, if you ever met Arshad Warsi in real life, you wouldn't believe that he's always playing these kind of earthy characters, very different characters. He seemed like this very, you'd think that he was this really posh gentleman living in the very high-end suburbs of Mumbai, but he does something very unlike him in his films, and I want to talk to him about that. Come right back, don't go anywhere. All right, you're back on Star Stop. Prakash Jha and Arshad Warsi with us. What is it? Thanks so much for joining me, by the way.
Pleasure.
You play very unlike you in real life roles all the time. What's the fun of that?
I don't know.
How do they envision you like that?
I have no clue, yeah, really. It's so funny because I was just doing an interview with Rishikesh, and he told me that he was somewhere, and they told him that Arshad Warsi तो यही मलियाबाद का है, उसके बागान है यहाँ पे, उसका तो अभी हम अमरूद खा के उसके बागान से, so he said नहीं वो बम्बई का. So that is my story. I don't know why a lot of people think I'm from Delhi. A lot of people think I'm from Bhopal, Maliabad, new one, Nagpur, Lucknow, various places. I think it's because I speak, my Hindi is proper, I guess. Maybe one that could be. The other is I tend to fit into roles pretty well, somehow. I have
if
no
somebody
idea.
gave you a tuxedo, slicked your hair back, gave you a shave, would you feel
I
like
would do
little
fine.
itch? Yeah?
I would do fine. I'm telling you, that's the whole thing. Like if you look at Arun Kumar of Seher, he is just so proper, that character. Then
that was a really good film.
Then you see a circuit. He is absolutely not proper. So I have done various, and I think I'm okay. I can manage it.
Do you think you've been underappreciated? You just gave this little graph of yours. I think people forget.
I keep, this is the thing which I hear very often, underrated actor. I think it's better than being overrated.
I would still say underappreciated. I don't think, so it must hurt you somewhere. Your kalakar inside must feel angry sometimes.
No, it doesn't. The anger part is not there only inside me in any form. I'm glad about that. So no, it doesn't bother me. It'll harass me if I stop getting work. The paying of the bills will become a problem. That issue, that would bother me. As long as I'm working, I'm fine. I'm okay with that.
But do you feel that that's because you probably haven't tom-tommed about yourself enough in this current
No, I
age?
don't know. I have no issues really. I'm very fine.
That doesn't work.
Really?
Tom-tomming about yourself doesn't work.
Nothing actually works. Like many people have told me, so why don't you call up filmmakers? Why don't you call a director? How people do it? I think to myself, I said, if I was a director and if I wanted X person for a film, I would call up and say, you can't tell me.
But maybe that person is thinking of someone.
Maybe.
But if you call him, they say, oh yeah, he's also there.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm there. But the point is, if I fit the role, the director will take me. I'm sure the director must have done that much of research to find out about actors. Okay, I'm making a film. Who are the actors that fit the role? Has a whole team of people saying, sir, this is the lineup. Who would you like?
If he hasn't done the research, then he doesn't deserve me.
Exactly. Let's put it that way.
A few like you do a lot of research, we've heard
Everybody
stories.
does. Let me tell
Really?
you. Everybody. When we start casting, we all sit down and we think about like who are the possible. They're shortlisted, made like that.
I have to do that.
Like this film, Fraud Saiyaan. My daughter brought this script to me.
Yes.
She Disha and Kanishk, they brought this script to me, and
it's based on it's a true story person.
And
so as to say.
I've never played a character like this also in my life, like having flirting around and I've never done that also.
And they brought the name together. Arshad Warsi or Saurabh Shukla, they fit this character. I said, absolutely. Absolutely. There was no other choice, no other consideration, no shortlisting. This guy.
But that's when you got this also stamp of some strong filmmakers, it works very well. I've actually worked extensively with Saurabh Ji also. He's unbelievable.
Oh, I love him. such a good
How
actor.
to stop him from directing is sometimes an issue. I love him, but he's
that writer and director in him
doesn't go.
They won't go. It cannot go.
That chemistry is awesome. He doesn't give as much away all the time, and once he warms up to you, so the chemistry between the two of you, although he
Outstanding.
comes in,
Outstanding. It's weird, but most people who are considered to be extremely serious seem to get along very well with me. And I am far from serious. So I have no idea, but I guess that poles apart, no? So we are completely like Nasir Saab, Saurabh ji, and even Mr. Jha has a reputation of being extremely
he's got this sarcastic look. I get really scared of you sometimes because he's sizing you up.
But I'm fine with him.
You have this very intimidating look about you, Prakash sir. But there's this one, like I said, it's only when we see the behind the scenes do we see the other side of you. Has it always been like this बचपन से?
It's more of a perception. People.
अच्छा, क्योंकि आपकी फिल्में भी ऐसी होती शायद.
वो वहाँ से कहीं
आ गया होगा.
Point of view बन गया होगा, but मेरे बारे में सबसे बड़ी गलतफहमी यही है शायद.
That he is a very intimidating person. He is not. So if you actually come across, you can actually walk into the office and ask. If a young talented person in this day and age, they wanted to be cast in a Prakash Jha film, would they have to really struggle very hard to do the rounds of auditions and all? Because I remember he used to also check all the, not just the junior artists, they were all proper theatre actors or actors. They go through a large process, even if it's a crowd. So does that still exist with the meticulousness with it?
We just finished shooting a film and we went through the whole process, and it works because you see what happens, that people come prepared. Not only you have got the right people, you have done a workshop with them, then you have, it's as a director, writer, it's my job to be able to get the right people and inform them as much as possible about their character, about the film and the story. काम बन जाता है उसमें.
We shot in Bhopal, and I think we shot there earlier, and he kind of had a session, and classes and everything, and he kind of trained all the junior artists over there, extras. So when I went there, we had a scene on a station, and the whole station was packed. So for a moment I thought, ये regular चल रहा है, this is a normal station.
Wow.
Because they all looked very real. And then the action happened, they all reacted very well, followed instruction, did exactly. I was like, ये कहाँ से आ गया? I mean, how is it possible? And I got to know, अच्छा ये Jha साहब ने यहाँ पे सबकी class ली थी when he was shooting, and so
are you very strict when you're doing that?
Prepared.
I wasn't there. This was not happening when I was there.
No.
It was in my absence.
Yeah, so the shoot.
I never went to.
In the trailer, there's a shot of the gun fired and the whole station goes haywire. They're all junior artists, all of them.
But I think it works, because now, you have a lot of these 70 people, 100 में से 70 will be saying, अरे पीछे देखो क्या हो रहा है, वो actor क्या कर रहा है. And sometimes that can drop a whole scene, which is why I think to invest in the secondary cast is very, very important. But why doesn't somebody expose your dancing a little more? I keep asking you this question.
Maybe because I'm not as sexy as Ellie.
No, that's because you're not losing. Tell me something. If you would you want to get into the six-pack syndrome and then become like this fancy dancer? Because you are a fancy dancer.
You can put a six-pack guy next to me, I'll still look better than him when I'm dancing.
That's true, actually. We saw that just now in Simba.
Oh, shit. So, no, it's I don't get those songs. I don't get those opportunity to do that. So, it's just, I've done a little dancing in this.
Yeah, I saw.
I did it. Actually, there's a song. Okay. There's a little
Paan Ka Patta.
Song that I did a bit of dancing.
But he's actually a brilliant dancer. He just hasn't utilized it. Yeah. I sometimes do say that. Will you?
I realize nobody's utilized my dancing.
I was just going to say this.
What am I doing here? What am I doing here?
On a teacher, what the boy has lot of potential. जैसे report card में होता था ना.
ऐसे ये potential भी रह जाएगा.
Potential, बहुत potential है.
Do you think that there is, when you got Arshad in, when now you've seen the film, do you think that there's a way that someone like him can actually go out there and it can work in a different way? His kind of thinking can change and he'll end up being utilized a lot more in our industry? No?
Who am I to say?
Can I tell
you something? Okay, this might sound a little weird, but the problem, I feel in our industry, okay, you'll see the difference in acting in Hollywood and you'll see the difference in acting in. Just I have a term which I use in a very funny, joking manner, कि जोर से acting कर रहा है. We do a lot of acting. We do melodrama. We don't be normal.
Overact.
We overact. We do not behave normal, and normalcy is not considered acting. For me, special effects and acting is same. If I can see special effect, it's bad special effect.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I can see acting, it's bad acting. But we don't understand. If you see a special work देखा क्या मस्त दिख रहा था. आपको दिख रहा है मतलब अच्छा नहीं है वो. ये लॉजिक नहीं समझ में आती है. तो मुझे for me acting is when I can't see you acting, and when people can't see you acting, they think you're not acting, but that is good acting.
You know, Mark Waugh and Steve Waugh were two cricketers. I remember this analogy was used with them. Steve Waugh used to struggle a lot, captained Australia, made 10,000 runs in Test cricket. Mark Waugh was called Junior. He used to come and he used to smashing cover drives and all that. And he was criticized all throughout his career that he just didn't put enough effort. He said, just because I don't sweat like my brother, and just because I don't look like I'm hitting the ball, it doesn't mean I'm working less. Yeah. So I think you're the Mark Waugh of Indian
Thank you very much.
cinema.
Yeah.
But we need to also put a little bit of Steve Waugh into it.
Yeah, I think I should do that. I should just put up an act.
Once in a while, at least on social media you can. You're too real there also.
Yeah, I know. Like many times, this is like once I hurt myself.
Yeah.
So we were all at home and so we're drinking, and I tripped and I fell.
Yeah.
So I was asked by Jim, what happened?
Yeah.
So I said, at home I got drunk and fell down. So my friend said, dude, that's not what you say. You say you were doing a stunt. You were riding a horse, you fell off a horse. You have a bike, jumping a bike, you fell off a bike, there was a stunt. That's what you say. You don't say, don't tell the truth.
Yeah. A version of the truth can be said. And you know, like they say, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Whatever you're comfortable with works with us. I love you like this, and that's the way it is. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
Pleasure.
I hope Fraud Saiyaan can, sort of tick all the right boxes at the box office. These days, a lot of it is on the Monday or the Tuesday of it, and it can your fate can be decided. It's all on him now. There's nobody else around him.
Yeah.
Towards the middle, Saurabh ji comes in. But
help me.
Arshad Warsi solo hero better work. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.